Good morning, everybody. We made it to the end of the week. My favorite day of the week. It means the work week is over. And it means I get to see the man with the lovely locks. The great Billy Body. This is a nitty-gritty dirt show preview. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. And we're going to give you a little sneak peek of what's coming on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show on patreon.com/Russo TWC. Billy, what is going on, bro?
Well, very, very little is going on. And I think that's part of the problem in terms of there's not even ideas being like floated about and stuff. Like I've actually I've sent out more texts this week because it was getting to like, so obviously I have my Patreon page as well, the dailysheets.com, where we put the content out through the week and then I pick and choose parts that we come on here and talk about. I haven't made a post this week. And I realized this around about Tuesday, Wednesday, because Austin was lagging with his Austin report after Raw because he didn't want to watch Raw immediately. I can't blame him because he says,
wow, bro, that says a lot right there. When Raw is becoming a chore for a 10-year-old to watch, bro, that says a lot. That's hot news right there, Billy.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to watch Raw, so I needed to put a story out. So I was calling up and then texting going, you got anything? Has anything happened? Has anything happened? Has anything happened? Nope, nothing throughout the whole week. So, yeah, I ended up getting like bits and pieces. But as obviously you watch Seinfeld.
Obviously, of course.
Yeah, so we're in that category now where we are going to have to do a show about nothing and try and see if we can make it. And see if we don't have to do 10 seasons, but we may need to get through half hour.
Bro, you and I can talk all day about nothing. I want to thank Travis Berg for a $2 super sticker. And yeah, guys, if you're watching this show and you're enjoying it, feel free to send a donation super sticker on YouTube, on Twitch. You know, man, you can resub, sub, gift a sub, use your Twitch Prime, whatever you want. Billy, I swear to God, sometimes I feel like a really, really mean guy. And there are people that actually believe and actually think I hate Tony Khan. I'm like, bro, why in the world would I hate Tony Khan? How in the world could I hate somebody I don't know? I just think what this guy does is very entertaining. And I think it's newsworthy, and I have a good time with it. Billy, 2 weeks ago, their first unopposed show on AEW with no NXT, they pull in 1.2 million viewers. This Yahoo goes on every platform he can, patting himself on the back, putting over the huge number. He's on Busted Open Radio. Anyone that would have him and I'm watching this clown and I'm like, bro, do you know you're setting yourself up for absolute ridicule when next week the rating goes down? Why, bro? Never in the history of Raw, Billy, will anybody ever find me celebrating a victory, a rating, and putting a rating over. I would have never done that. Why? Because I would have looked like an absolute schlep if the number would have went down the following week. It's common sense. So this guy goes around, throws a parade, 1.2 million, and what happens the next 2 weeks? 1.1 million. 890,000. So we went from 1.2 million. We lost over 300,000 people already. But my question is, Billy, This guy's the owner of AEW. This guy is the owner of the Jags. This guy is the owner of Fulham. Bro, does this guy like not have a freaking clue that it might not be a good idea to put your rating over because that rating could come crashing down in 2 weeks? Like, Billy, isn't that just common sense?
Well, I mean, it's usually down to, I mean, there's a story that I do have, which we'll talk about on the other side, about how
Billy, your hair looks really good today, man. Did you do anything special with it?
I did not, no.
Unbelievable. Look at him, man.
I actually went to the gym and then got changed quickly for this, and perhaps something's happened. The mist, the gym moisture, the sweat, the sweat has curled it right on the ends.
The hair looks good, Billy. The hair looks really good today, man. All right, go ahead. What were you going to say? Go ahead, Billy.
I was going to say, basically, there's a story on the other side that I have where WWE have wrongly, in my opinion, been credited. I mean, this company just falling arse backwards into money and credits, like, but they don't need to do it by themselves. I mean, they do. They toot their own horn as much as they possibly can, or what they do is they give a spin of things. So, example, like when Stephanie McMahon was finished second most influential business person of the year, and they said she was the number one. She won the award. She's the most influential female when she was the second place, but there was nothing for first female. But they call it a female businesswoman of the year. So they're spin masters, but they don't really do things like what Tony Khan did. But they're falling ass backwards into praise, which they don't deserve. Like, and I'm going to talk about that on the other sides. Whereas this guy, who has more money, more businesses, and everything going for him, just continues to. I only see him talking about AEW. I only see him appearing on AEW. I only see him. It's very, very rare. I mean, I don't know. I haven't caught up yesterday in terms of whether he was vocal about the draft, but this is his biggest entity. Would be the Jags and the draft yesterday. The Jags had all the top pick, the number one pick in the draft. So that would have been a time where he would have been, influential or heavily involved and whatnot. And his soccer team, Fulham, are about to go down. Like, since we last spoke, their position has got worse. The teams in and around them are winning, and Fulham are still continuing not to win. So now there is a gap, and they are going to go down. So I don't know. I've never understood it. I've never understood his prime focus on this, and I've never understood why he makes himself available to make these stupid quotes everywhere, why he's accessible to Keller and Meltzer and everybody else, because I would understand if he was doing this at the start of the company, where you're trying to see and say, okay, we have a base of 1 million or whatever it is. If we go to these mark sites, are we going to get all of these fans or whatever? It's like, no, dude. You have these fans. They're already watching. Like, What are you doing? Like, it's a waste of time. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like shooting a dead person in the head over and over and over. They're not going to be more dead. Like, they're not going to die anymore. Like, there's no point in doing this.
It's like you trying to recruit people that already have hair like you, rather than people like me that want hair like you. They already got the hair like you, Billy. They don't need you, but I do. Billy, here's another thing he said that blew my mind, because anybody that knows anything about television knows this is ridiculous. And you know something about television. For those of you that don't know, I don't know where you've been. Billy was a big major star on Big Brother over in the UK. Billy knows TV. He's had other shows. Billy has had a television career. Now, Billy, again, let's look at common sense.
Austin, are you listening to this? Did you hear that? Yeah. I've had a TV career.
Yeah, TV career, bro. Yes.
It's like my son doesn't care or realize. He just.
I need to straighten out. I need to straighten Austin out a little bit after this. He's getting a little fresh. Do you use the word fresh in the UK? Fresh?
Yeah, he's very cocky at the moment.
Very fresh, very cocky. I need to have a little talk with him. Billy, okay, let's look at the facts, you and me. We're very logical people. AEW gets a deal with TNT Network because Tony Khan has a relationship with somebody there. AEW had zero track record of being on TV. There were no numbers of what they were going to draw. There was no track record. They had no idea what they would draw on TV. So let's face it, man, there was a little bit of a risk involved as far as TNT was involved. There was no television track record of what AEW might draw. Okay? So now, Billy, we all know that, TNT now, TBS, they're getting heavy into hockey. And there's a lot of talk like, bro, hockey night is like Wednesday night. What are they going to do with AEW? There's a lot of talk. So they ask Tony Khan this question. And Tony Khan turns around and says, bro, his contract with TNT, they are guaranteed Wednesday night at that time slot. And they can't be moved unless they strike some kind of a deal with him and AEW and they make it very lucrative for them to move off Wednesday night. Now, Billy, you know TV, I know TV. Is a major network like TNT going to guarantee them a time slot, a night and a time when they had no history whatsoever of television ratings on this TV? This is so bogus. No television network would ever guarantee you a time slot and a night unless you were a proven show. And I mean, will you just explain that to people that this guy's out of his mind, bro?
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Like WWE are probably in a position to negotiate that in terms of Raw being on the air since 1993. They may be able to say, hey, if we come to Fox or if we come to wherever, we need to be on at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. on Monday night. That's what we do, and we've been doing it for years. This brand new entity that has no track record cannot bring that into negotiations unless, and this is not going to be a factor, unless there was a bidding war for AEW in the first place. I know that there wasn't. I know basically that this was set up through a contact in terms of there being still people that wanted to bring TNT specifically back to the channel. Like they wanted to bring wrestling back to the channel. Cody Rhodes was also influential in this, so it's not just a case of Tony Khan. So there was a lot of favors called in. There was a lot of things that made sense in terms of timing. There was not a bidding war here in terms of there was not four or five other channels that wanted AEW. In fact, AEW were once, I don't know if you recall this, but they were at the point where they were on the fence about if they didn't get a network when they were launching off the back of their first. Remember, they did a pay-per-view first.
Yeah.
Right. So if they did not get a network, they were willing to do a deal with YouTube to stream their shows. And then eventually, like, they ended up striking a deal with TNT. When you end up striking a deal and you've put another idea out there, that means you don't have a load of people talking to you. That's the thing. I remember when Cobra Kai became available on YouTube Red, everybody wanted it. Like me and Austin were talking about it because he watches the YouTube videos, and we had no idea where Cobra Kai was going to resurface, and we wanted Netflix to win the negotiations because we already had it. And we didn't want to like subscribe to another streaming platform or whatever. And luckily, Netflix did win it. But everybody wanted that asset. AEW were not in that position because the word asset isn't applicable to a startup, which is what they are. I mean, this is business. I don't understand why. I come on here sometimes, and I'm always explaining basic business.
Well, Billy, here's what he done.
Which other journalists are not doing. They don't have a basic business sense.
Here's what he did, bro, which I'm so fascinated by this guy because, bro, you see right through this guy like cellophane. This is what he did. He went on, busted open. He puffed out his chest, bro. We definitely know this guy's got little man syndrome. This guy was picked on as a kid, sat alone at the grade school cafeteria. We get all that. We know that. So, bro, this guy goes on there, puffs out his chest about they can't move us anywhere. We've got a solid contract. We've got etched in stone. We own Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. They can't move us anywhere unless they make it very, very lucrative for us. And they give us an offer that we can't refuse, so we'll move off of Wednesday nights. Here's what this dodo bird is doing, and he doesn't understand. People with a brain understand this. There already is a threat of them being moved for NHL. So now he has set himself up as the hero that if they do get moved, now he's going to say, yeah, bro, we moved off of Wednesday nights, but trust me, it cost TNT a pretty penny to that's what he set himself up for. And it's a freaking joke, bro. If anybody thinks AEW has that kind of power with now under 1 million viewers with no competition, bro, if you think they have that kind of power with the network, you're out of your freaking mind, bro.
No, and this is the overriding thing about it in terms of they don't have any power. So if you got put on here as a startup in terms of this company taking a chance on you, in terms of you calling in favors, in terms of like people in the company wanting to familiarize themselves with the Rhodes name, etc., and having all of this background, if this was a favor and you were giving this deal in terms of being given it with no other people coming in to buy this product. So TNA really did overpay for this. TNT, sorry, did overpay this, and they probably know it. The last thing you want to do is make any kind of media comments where you throw this, especially when you've not come through with the things that you probably said at the start when you wanted to get this deal. Like there would have been a business plan there. There would have been a starting point. Yes, I know actually that they overshot their mark from the very first episode. 1.2 was about 200,000 people more than they expected. However, as time has gone by, whereas they started here on week 1 and the line was probably like, trying to do this so you can see it on there. I can't do it, so I can't mirror myself. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that if the line was there and they started a little bit above it, there would have been a point where it would needed to move up in this trajectory, like as everything does. But it didn't. Like it's gone downwards. So they're not 1.0 was the starting point. And at this point in time, I imagine that network would have been expecting a different number. I would expect that they would think that they'd be holding 1.5 and doing a little bit more when they brought in people like Tyson. Okay, 2.0 or any higher would probably be above expectations, but they're nowhere near that. I mean, at the end of the 3 years, the 3-year deal that they would have had, like they would have been expecting to get close to 2. And there could be no excuses made in terms of the WWE excuses in terms of widespread content consumption and also they can't point to the WWE number and say, oh, we're so close to WWE now, which they were. Like, had they done a decent number this week, they would have been close to WWE because WWE's number was terrible. But WWE's product is terrible as well. The only thing that TNT do, which is above what WWE do, is the fact that they're not giving away these matches that they consider to be a draw on television for free. WWE are blowing through all of their matches, and if you put up the WWE names on a board, you cannot put together combinations that haven't faced off yet. And if you can, there's no money in that. There's no one's going to pay to see those matches. This WrestleMania, what did you want to really see? Like, what one of these matches was your go-to match in terms of this is going to pull people in? this is a once in a lifetime match. This is a draw. There's nothing there. This WrestleMania was just a whole bunch of main roster guys. Someone just put wrestling is dead. There's just a bunch of like main roster guys that have already all faced each other. Like even this week, like I had no idea that Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman had never been done before. But the fact is that it has been done now. It's been seen on TV. So if you want to go back to that, not that I'm saying that's a big drawing match anyway, WWE won't be able to do anything with it. At least for what it's worth, Omega and Christian, which they look to be building towards, or whoever they face as the top guy in Team Taz against Christian, which is going to come first. At least all of these matches end up getting saved, and only when you're blowing off the feud do you see a Moxley and Omega on TV or whatever. But that is the only thing that they're doing right. They're managing to make pay-per-view irrelevant in terms of making it something that you need to see, which isn't the same as their TV. But that's it.
Bro, it's just funny. Like with all the money Tony Khan has, I'm really starting to wonder, bro, how much money has he lost because of his ignorance? I mean, Billy, listen, I worked for 3 wrestling companies that had relationships with 3 television networks. Billy, you've always got to kiss the ass of the network. That is your bloodline. You've got to kiss the ass of the network. You got to work the network. You got to keep the network happy. Okay? So what this guy, when asked the question about the NHL, what Tony Khan should be saying is, wow, bro, what a great acquisition for TNT, TBS. It's going to be great for the network. They're going to bring new viewers to the channel, which is going to bring new viewers to AEW. We could do a lot of cross promotion. That's what he should be doing. He should be hyping this for the network. But what he's doing is, bro, they can't move us. We got an ironclad contract. We got them over a barrel. The only way they can move us is if they pay us. Like, bro, is this guy like out of his mind, Billy?
Here's what's interesting. This kind of steps on something that's supposed to be on the other side, but it seems to be the right time to talk about it. So WWE, like Vince McMahon, hasn't really been around as of late. He's been coming in late, changing a few bits and pieces. But actually, these shows that you've
Billy, let's save this for the other side. We've already given them like 25 minutes. We got to save this for the other side. Keep your thought right there.
Okay, I'll start with that.
We're going to discuss this on the other side. Guys, if you want to hear the rest of this and the news Billy gives every week, Billy, I swear to God, every show I do during the week, I quote you on every show. And what you say something on Friday, and then during the week, bro, you see everything you said come to fruition. That's why I love doing the show with you on Friday. I get all this information on you on Friday. Then on Monday, I start the shows, and everything you talk about starts happening. And I quote you throughout the week. But guys, if you want to hear the nitty gritty dirt show where Billy's really going to get into the news, you just got to go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. It starts at 75 cents a week. Billy, tell him about Lock Betting, Dirty Sheets, podcast on a poll. I don't know if we're going to promote Austin's toys and games. He's being a little Weisenheimer. Do you use the word Weisenheimer in the UK?
No.
Yeah, he's being a Weisenheimer. We're going to have to talk to him.
Actually stuck we had these drinks that came through, and his stick, and it comes with a sticker on top of it. And he was sitting here drinking his, and he's just put his sticker on the floor. It's stuck on my floor. I can't get it up. This is how lazy he is. This kid.
Very fresh lately. All right, what's going on in your world, bro? Because Billy, oh my gosh, I got to talk to this kid. Billy, tomorrow is May 1st. Very important day for Lock Betting. Go ahead, bro.
I'm just reading these comments down here. Everybody hates wrestling. All right, I get it. All right, so lockbetting.com is my site. We've just done over £3,000, which is over $3,700 in profit for the month of April. Like April was absolutely huge. There wasn't a single sport that we didn't make money in April, like MLB, NBA, NHL, soccer, tennis, UFC, WWE. We made money in everything for that month. So if you want to be a part of May, where we're going for our 96th month in a row, and like when I say this, like
that's crazy, bro. That's insane, Bill. That's like Joe DiMaggio's streak, bro.
And the thing is, when I say this, it's like, oh, okay, anybody could be saying this or whatever. First of all, I use Patreon, which Vince uses here as well. When you post up your picks and plays or whatever, all the members can put a comment under there if you're full of shit. And one of the things I put up is a spreadsheet every single month. So on my Twitter account at SGP Soccer, there's a pinned tweet there, which is the previous month. So April's going to go up there on Monday, and you'll be able to look at every single bet that we put out, including the one I gave to Vince. And all the stuff is up there. So you can look at April. But if you go to lockbetting.com, it's free to look at every single spreadsheet. Like all of them are there, and they're put up, and everybody could comment, and anybody could at any given time say, I don't remember this bet. I haven't made any money this month, whatever. It's not there. Everybody has made that money. So that happened in April, and we're going for the 96th month. Billy, explain how it fully works.
Media M5 says, explain how it fully works, and I will join. Before Billy explains that, and before you join Media, bro, 96 months in a row is insanity. That's insane, bro. That's crazy talk.
So explaining how it works. So what we do is we have a team. We have different people working in different sports. We do all the research.
Hold on, it's the Hitman, bro. This Hitman is a good friend of mine, Billy. If the Hitman says explain it and I'll join, he will join. He's a good friend of the brand. So explain to him how it works. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, so basically everything's behind a paywall. There's bonus podcasts, there's bonus content, but mostly there's the plays. So we put the plays up. If it's a substantial amount of money that we're telling you that you should bet, and substantial for us is £100, which is $130. So if we're telling you to do $130 on one game, there'll be a detailed write-up, so you can be rest assured that you're not just some guys, they just put out like the plays and then you don't know why you're doing them or whatever. But as Vince knows, like when I gave you a top play, right?
One, bro. You've given me one lousy play. One. You wet my whistle with one play, bro. And by the way, Billy sent me one play with an entire write-up. Bro, the game wasn't even close. It was 9-0. It wasn't even close. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Any substantial play will have a write-up or will have a audio podcast with it. So it's all written out anyway, but if you want the extra audio, you can listen. If you don't care about the reason, then you don't have to listen to the audio. But most things will have a write-up with them as well for substantial pays. If it's just like £33, which is like $50, a $50 bet or whatever, there'll be a minimal write-up on it. But the fact is that when all you got to do is bet on exactly what we bet, follow the write-ups exactly. So in terms of if I say bet Giannis over 37.5 PRA, which mean points, rebounds, and assists, then you go and find 37.5 PRA for Giannis, and Giannis will probably cash that for you. His PRA will probably be higher than that, actually. It'll probably be around about 45.5, but that's just an example of what I'm saying. So we give out the bets. All you need to do is tail them, and then you'll end up with this profit. If you do exactly as everything is written up, then you would have made £3,000 last month, and which is over $3,700.
And Billy, let's say it too. I consider Glenn as a shoot, Glenn Gilberti. I consider Glenn a professional gambler. Glenn lives in Vegas. Glenn bets on games every single day. Glenn is a professional gambler who makes money, and Glenn, in fact, uses your service, Billy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And he's actually always asking for extra plays as well, because and obviously we try to keep it down to a limit in terms of how many that we want to do in terms of what we consider to be selective. So we're trying to remain selective. But yeah, Glenn likes to bet on a lot more than we like to give out.
Yes. All right. What about Dirty Sheets? What about Podcast on a Pole?
Billy, and it's not just the NBA. I've got everything. Yeah.
You got everything. You got golf. You got tennis. You got NASCAR.
No.
Okay, but you got everything on there.
I don't actually have golf, but yeah, I've got everything else you mentioned. My wrestling site is thedirtysheets.com. My podcast that me and Cav do every single Tuesday is The Dirty Sheets. What else? You can just get that on iTunes. And then Podcast on a Poll. The Patreon for Podcast on a Poll is podcastonapoll.com, where you can get all your bonus shows on Undertaker Part 1, Shawn Michaels Part 1, Lyndon McMahon, Psycho Sid, The Ultimate Warrior, and Vader, all the bonus shows that we've done so far. So you can get all of that content. Plus, you can get the videos for every single podcast we've done. If you need to catch up with Podcast on a Poll, just go and get it on iTunes. All the regular episodes are there. You can just go back. They're only like an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes each. So very, very quickly, instead of listening to just one or two of Conrad's terrible shows, you can just catch up with all of like mine, Cav and Vince's shows, all the Podcasts on a Poll. You can get up to date very, very quickly in just a couple of days. So yeah, that's Podcast on a Poll. And at Austin's Toys and Games is my son's Instagram. And he's put a lot of videos out this week, actually, including, did you see the one with the announcer? He tagged you in it, where he's watching Raw.
Yes.
And he's laughing at the announcer who just says, "Oh no."
He's the Weisenheimer that Austin. All right, guys.
Do you know that announcer from baseball?
I do know him from baseball. Bro, why anyone would go from baseball to wrestling? Like, oh my God, like really, bro? But whatever. I mean, the guy obviously is an avid wrestling fan, so good for him. Bro, hold on. I'm gonna one thing before we go, Billy, because you're always so good to me. I want to give you a little treat. I added some new Roadcaster clips, and I want you to tell me. I'm going to play a clip for you. You tell me what this is, okay? You ready?
I'm tired of people thinking I'm dumb.
What is that, bro? I'll play for you again.
It's Strowman. It's Braun Strowman.
I'm tired of people thinking I'm dumb.
Yes.
That's Braun Strowman, isn't it?
That's Wade Keller doing Braun Strowman, bro.
I'm tired of people thinking I'm
This is what these guys do on their shows, bro. This is what they do on their shows, Billy. Can you imagine you coming on here and doing bad imitations of wrestlers, bro?
Yeah, there would be bad imitations. But yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to jump on the other side with all the news. Patreon.com/Russo TWC. The show will air tomorrow. And tomorrow is the first of the month, guys. So you want to go to Patreon. It starts at 75 cents a week. From me and the great Billy Bate, we'll see you on the other side.